The hall of the Galactic Council shimmered with golden light, filled with towering beings from 100 worlds. Each race stood proud beneath banners that told stories of ancient power and unbroken heritage. In the center stood the humans, smaller, quieter, and outnumbered. Yet their eyes burned with something none of the others could name. It was Judgment Day. For decades, the humans had been under scrutiny. The Council claimed that Earth's people were too dangerous, too unpredictable, too ambitious. The official charge was unauthorized expansion, but everyone in that chamber knew the real reason. Humanity grew too fast. They built colonies where none dared to go. They turned barren moons into shining cities, and worst of all, they refused to bow. The Speaker of the Council, a tall creature with translucent skin, raised his staff and spoke with a voice that echoed through the chamber. Humans of Earth, you stand accused of spreading beyond your assigned sectors. You have weaponized matter beyond Council restrictions. You have disrupted the balance of peace. By decree of the Council, your species is hereby banished from the Union. All trade and travel are forbidden. Any vessel bearing human code shall be destroyed. The hall went silent. At the center podium, a human representative named Elias stood straight, his hands calm. So that's it, he said. After all our efforts to cooperate, after we helped rebuild worlds destroyed by your wars, after we shared medicine and energy with you, you cast us out. You are a threat to galactic order, the speaker replied coldly. You do not know your place. Elias gave a slow nod. Then perhaps we'll find our own place. And with that, humanity was erased from the records of the Galactic Union. The humans left the galactic core quietly. Their ships faded into the outer dark toward uncharted stars. The Council expected them to vanish, to crumble without trade or allies. But humans had never been good at dying quietly. The first years were hard. Food grew scarce and many colonies struggled to survive. Yet every hardship only hardened them. Old nations united under one purpose, survival. The fleets that once served Earth's defense became carriers of hope, ferrying millions to new worlds at the edge of known space. One of those worlds was called Haven. It was cold, harsh, and beautiful. Its sky was tinted silver, and its storms could tear ships apart. But the humans dug deep, built cities under domes of glass and steel, and made the impossible their home. From Haven, a plan was born, not of revenge, but of ambition. If they could not belong to the Council's galaxy, they would build their own. Scientists, engineers, and dreamers came together. They developed ships powered by the new pulse cores, technology no Council world had ever achieved. It was energy drawn from quantum strings near infinite and clean. Within 50 years, the scattered human colonies had linked together through jump gates, and a new civilization began to rise. They called it the Sol Dominion. It began as a confederation for defense, but it grew into something far greater. They colonized hundreds of worlds, each one a jewel of light in the dark. Trade flowed across systems. Human fleets patrolled the borders, sleek ships bearing the crest of a rising empire. While the Council ignored them, believing them broken, the Dominion thrived. A century later, the Council could no longer pretend humanity did not exist. Reports began to reach the core. Fleets moving through the void, worlds transformed overnight, mysterious stations that bent light itself. At first, the Council dismissed them as rumors. Then the trade routes began to shift. Species once loyal to the Union started trading with human merchants. The goods were cheaper, stronger, better. Finally, a scout probe returned from the frontier. What it recorded shocked the Council. Entire star clusters had been united under human banners. Giant orbital rings encircled suns. Vast cities floated between worlds. The humans had become an empire. The Council called an emergency meeting. The speaker, now older and weary, stood before the assembly again. We thought they would fade, he said. We were wrong. Humanity has returned, and they do not ask for permission. Some Council members demanded a show of force. Others urged diplomacy. But the speaker feared that pride would again blind them. If we provoke them now, he warned, we may unleash something we cannot stop. But pride is a dangerous thing. When the first Council patrol crossed into Dominion space and seized a trading outpost, the humans responded within hours. A fleet of massive ships appeared at the border, their hulls black as night and trimmed with glowing silver. The Council ships fired first. None of them returned. The message that followed was short and calm. We are not your subjects. We are not your enemies. But if you strike at us again, we will end your wars before they begin. The council dismissed it as arrogance. They sent a full fleet to the frontier. Thousands of warships, the greatest show of force in 1,000 years. They never made it to human space. Halfway through the jump corridor, the fleet vanished from sensors. Later investigation found nothing but drifting debris. The corridor itself had been collapsed by a weapon the council had never seen. A gravitational implosion field. For the first time in living memory, the council knew fear. Within the Dominion, humanity had changed. They were no longer the scattered survivors who fled the council's judgment. They had become builders of wonders. Artificial suns illuminated dark systems. Entire planets were reshaped to bloom with life. Their engineers crafted starships that could fold space and appear anywhere within a breath. But despite their power, they did not seek conquest. They traded, they taught, they shared technology freely with those who wished peace. Countless minor worlds joined them willingly, drawn not by fear but by hope. The Dominion promised something the Council never offered: equality. Humans had learned the pain of exile. They refused to repeat it. Still, the Council could not forget its pride. They saw the Dominion's rise as a challenge to their order. Secretly, they began building weapons, reviving forbidden research. When human intelligence learned of it, the Dominion sent envoys to the Council once more. The meeting was held in the same golden hall where humanity had been banished generations ago. This time, the hall felt smaller. The envoy, a young diplomat named Mara, stood before the Council. "We remember what you did," she said, "but we do not come for vengeance. We offer peace. Let us build together. The galaxy is wide enough for all." The speaker's tone was cold. "Peace under human dominance, I presume." "Peace under no one's dominance," Mara replied. "The Dominion stands for freedom, for growth. You can join us or remain alone in the past." The Council refused. As the envoy's ship departed, hidden fleets were already moving toward Dominion borders. They attacked at dawn. It was not a war. It was a slaughter. The Dominion's defense systems activated across hundreds of worlds. Swarms of automated drones intercepted missiles. Planetary shields glowed like suns. The Council's fleets shattered against them like waves against steel. When the first Dominion fleet moved to counterattack, the stars themselves seemed to bow. Their ships moved through folded space, striking across light years in moments. They did not target civilians. They struck command centers, shipyards, weapon platforms. In less than a week, the Council's fleets were broken. Then came the final transmission from the Dominion High Command. To the Galactic Council. "We did not wish for this war, but you have forced our hand. You feared us when we were weak. You attacked us when we were strong. The age of your rule ends today. From this moment, no world shall bow to a council that governs through fear and arrogance. The stars belong to all." The Council's capital world burned in silence, not with fire but with light. The Dominion unleashed a wave of energy that disarmed every weapon, melted every engine, and left the planet powerless. No life was lost, only pride. The war ended without another shot. In the years that followed, the Dominion expanded peacefully across the galaxy. They rebuilt the shattered worlds, including those that once belonged to the Council. The surviving Council races found new homes under the protection of human fleets. They were not conquered. They were guided. From the ashes of arrogance rose a new age of unity. At the heart of it all stood the world of Haven, where the Dominion had begun. There a grand monument rose in a pillar of crystal reaching into the clouds. On it were carved the words spoken by Elias centuries before. "If we cannot find our place, we will make one," and they had. Across the stars, children learned the story of humanity, the outcasts who built an empire not from vengeance but from resilience. Traders told tales of human cities that shone brighter than suns. Pilgrims traveled to Earth, now restored and protected, to see where it all began. The galaxy never forgot the day the Council banished humanity. Nor did it forget the day humanity returned, not as conquerors but as builders of a new dawn. Because in the end, it was not hatred that made them mighty. It was hope, and that hope set the stars ablaze.